everybody. It's time for another Bangtan Gentlemen. I am Daniel Villalobos. With me, as always, is
Russell Thug.
Hell yeah, and we're here to dive into the world of K-pop using the surfboard that is BTS, the biggest band in the world right now. And there's a lot of great stuff coming up in the show today. First of all, before we get into what's coming up in the show, Russell, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine today.
It's a Sunday, right? And it's kind of gloomy outside a little bit.
Yeah, it's a very nice spring day.
Go back to work tomorrow and do it all again. But anyway, so coming up in the show, there's a lot of news. There's a lot of news out there right now concerning our boys, and also we're going to talk about a huge business or a collaboration or a joining of companies. I can't think of the word. Merging. There we go. A merger that's going to shake up the music world, or has already shook up the music world in a big way. So we'll get to that. That's the main part of our show. And we've been doing an unboxing every show, but I don't have any new products. But I do have one of the albums now for the first time ever, the actual CDs, the physical box. So we'll do that towards the end of the show when we talk about the music of BTS. But right now, let's go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna get right into the news. See you in a sec. Welcome back, everybody, to Bangtan Gentlemen. We got the news coming up right now. Take it away, Russell Fung.
All right, so this news item is very familiar because it was reported back in 2018, and I love these kind of stories. It's usually like stories like a flashback of early BTS not cast members, but the early members of BTS,
band members,
where they were at when they were struggling artists. But here, this news article is about Suga. I'm looking at the international news. That's my source, and it says BTS Suga's kindness for ill trainee unearthed. Yoongi took care of the bill. So what happened was, back in the day, Yoongi was training, and he had his other trainee coworker, and his coworker was feeling sick to the stomach, and so it says here.
Wait. So they were both trainees at the time.
It says here like.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I thought Suga was already like big time. So this was even before he had big money. All right, keep going.
Yeah, so this was reported in 2018. That doesn't mean it happened in 2018.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I read that wrong. Now I see what you're saying. All right, okay, keep going.
It's one of those stories where like it even says here that even Yoongi, he doesn't really like stories of his giving.
Yeah, I love that about him. Like he's like ridiculously humble, and like the fact that he gives to charities and everything, and it's obviously not for publicity. He doesn't like, it's like that's not what this is about. That's about them getting that money. So love Suga, like him so much.
Yeah, so the story goes, this YouTuber back in 2008 told the story of how his stomach wasn't feeling well, and then his head was throbbing. He said, I was just so sick. And then Yoongi took him to the hospital. And then that guy had to get an IV. And when the bill came, he said that Yoongi took care of the bill, the hospital bill.
Wow. That's amazing, man.
I know.
I'm not really tearing up, but I really do have something in my eye. But it does make me feel, gets me in the feels. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like this is Suga that's good for you. Like this dude is like, he's just like really, really, I mean, it's funny because I think out of all the trainee, or out of all the BTS boys, he kind of had I wouldn't say the most adversity, but he definitely didn't have a lot of people in his corner, it sounds like. He doesn't, I don't think he's, maybe Teresa can correct me on this, but I don't think he's called out anybody individually about trying to hold him down. But like, as far as like his family wasn't really, some in his family weren't very supportive of his music aspirations, and I think he was a really good basketball player, so he might have been pursuing that. Do Koreans have a professional league? Because unfortunately he's too short to play in the NBA. Even if he was really, really good, like it's hard to break into the NBA when you're short, regardless. I mean, Muggsy Bogues and Spud Webb were anomalies. But anyway, Teresa, do you know that info at all? Do you know like if he's ever like called out an actual person that kind of held him back, or it was just more like in general?
No, I don't think they ever. None of them ever called out. I think his family wasn't supportive of his music because obviously his family was really poor,
Yeah.
and Suga is extremely smart and saw kind of a way for him to get out of
Gotcha.
his situation, and then he turned to music, and I'm sure the parents are really worried and concerned. And there's a really great um, concert where his parents come to see him for the first time, and he just breaks down on stage and he's crying and he's like,
I want to see that. Is that
uh,
on YouTube somewhere?
I'll send it to you. And he's bowing on the ground to his parents because he's just
That's
so.
amazing. You know what? Yeah, I might have mislabeled that. I shouldn't have said that he said his family wasn't supportive. It was more what Teresa said, that they were afraid because of the entertainment business. And in any country, it doesn't matter. In America, obviously, it's a very difficult business to break into. Like no matter at any level, like it's not an easy life. So the failure rate is probably pretty high. So it's for coming from a poor family, I can definitely understand that.
Yeah, what's particularly very interesting about the story is that this happened a while ago, a long time ago, and he was, I don't like to use the word poor, but it wasn't like he had high means at the time.
Yeah.
So for him to pay for a hospital bill, now I don't know how much hospital bills are in Korea, but
I'm sure they're pretty penny, as most hospitals are.
But the idea of
regardless of
paying
universal.
in a coffee for someone when you're poor, or
No, I
much
get
paying for a hospital bill
yeah.
while
No,
you're
I get
poor
where you're
for
coming from.
somebody else. That's a big deal, and that speaks differently than if you're already BTS right now and you're paying for somebody's hospital bill. Yeah, that's charity.
Yeah.
That's still great. That's still like a really cool story regardless. But it's a little different when you're poor. And
Do we know, did that trainee turn out to be any bands? Did that trainee make it?
No. He's a
No.
YouTuber now, though.
He's a YouTuber now. Okay, so he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What's a trainee, by the way? I'm reading all these terminologies. I'm like, what is
a trainee is basically it's somebody who goes into that the company either recruits or they win an audition of some sort. They get into train to be in one of the bands. Like all 7 BTS guys were trainees at one time, and they also probably performed with they did perform with other trainees and try to figure out what group they were going to be in, and then it's kind of like a chemistry test, like chemistry reads the way they do it in Hollywood, where they see, okay, we want to cast this person, but let's see if they're good together. And that's kind of what they did here. And then, that's kind of the way BTS formed. So it's somewhat like of an academy, like what we have Juilliard here. We have places like that in America, but it's not the same as like what Korean, like I would love, like in the China, like the Chinese opera company. You've heard of them? The one where Jackie Chan, I think I'm saying that right. I might be saying that wrong, but it's where Jackie Chan trained Sammo Hung, Bruce Lee was part of it. Like his dad.
This
it
is
was like, what's that?
Oh, this is like where you have and find your contemporaries.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you literally go to school. Like Jackie Chan went to school from like 7 years old through high school at this Chinese opera school or whatever it's called. I wish I would get the name right, but I know opera's in the title. I remember that because I thought that was interesting. But it's basically a training ground for entertainers, martial artists as well, like especially because that's a big part of entertainment in China. So this is something a little bit different than that, but it's the same kind of thing where it's a school, and they get schooling as well. They get the regular subjects as if they were at school. But anyway, but that's I don't know if I answered your question or if I left anything out.
That makes sense. It sounds like to me it's the kind of like the child actors, how they know each other in Hollywood.
Totally. But in this case, they actually do live with each other, like they have actually they do in Hollywood too. They have apartment complexes where we stick all the young people when they move out from when they move out here from other countries. That's totally true. I mean, with their parents. We're not doing child trafficking in Hollywood or anything, so don't get all excited out there. But anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much what it is. So moving on from Sugar's charity, the next piece of news is we don't need to dwell on it too much, but Dynamite obviously continues to dominate the charts. It has been, the song sits at number 30 right now. It's currently on the charts for 32 weeks, 8 months, for those of you who can't do math as like I can't. Thank you for that, T. It's what was it? The first K-pop song is passing Gangnam Style. Wow, Gangnam Style was on the charts for that long? Like they just passed it? T, is that what you're saying here?
Yeah.
Wow, Gangnam Style, good
It
job.
was on 17. Yeah, it was. So this week is when they passed it.
That's awesome. All right, well, good for them. And they love Psy. As far as I know, like especially Jungkook, he freaking loves Psy. Or was it V? I can't remember. One of them took a picture with him and it was like super like fanned out. It was awesome.
It was V.
It was V. Okay, it was V. Okay, yeah, that was pretty cool. And it also is the #1 song on digital sales charts, beating a record set by Despacito, Daddy Yankee's song featuring Justin Bieber and I can't remember the Mexican guy, Hispanic guy's name, Latin guy's name. I don't know if he's Mexican, but is it Carlos Ponce? No. Who is it? Anyway, doesn't matter. He's another big star in Latin music, but that was a massive hit, obviously, Despacito, and by one of Jungkook's heroes, Justin Bieber, the Biebs. And I was telling Teresa off pod, if you've not heard the new Justin Bieber album, it's absolute fire. It's his best album, which, you know, I think it's saying a lot because the one with, I can't think of the name of it, the one with "What Do You Mean" on it was pretty awesome. So, but the reason I bring up Bieber is because there's like at least 3 songs, one in particular, and I wish I could remember the name of it. I can hear it in my head, but I would love to hear Jungkook cover, and I think he will. So we'll see what happens. But I love when he records Bieber. And speaking of which, when we get to the big part of the show, we'll get into how Bieber and Jungkook are now label mates. All right, kind of. So, what's the next story we got on the agenda there, Mr. Russell?
Okay, let's see here. It's BTS has released a collaboration with Helen Knox, a Korean-based camping brand. If I click on the link here, it's a I can't read a Rolling Stone article because of the paywall.
Don't worry about it. We can just go by that. I mean, it's basically
your collection.
Yeah, it's got portable furniture, tables, cots, sleeping bags. You know, the group's signature color.
Oh man, it looks so dope.
Purple.
I'm looking at the BTS X Helen Knox collection. I'm totally into these like branded collaborations. And so,
you like camping, right? You like the outdoors, right?
Oh yeah, my girlfriend, she talked to me yesterday. She's like, "Oh, we're gonna go camping. We got invited to go camping." I was like, to clarify, real camping, right? Not glamping.
All right. Well, here's the thing. I glamp. I don't camp.
Okay.
Because let me tell you why. Because when I was a kid, my dad and uncle traumatized me because they made me and my cousin do all the work. I was the only one who caught a fish, and they made me tie up the boat, which I didn't know how to do. I was 12 years old. I did not know how to tie up a pontoon boat. It took me forever. Me and my cousin, not just me. When I got up there, they had cooked and eaten my fish. I was the only one who caught one, and they ate it.
That's messed up.
But anyway, so I like to glamp. However, Russell, if you do go camping, maybe we could have an unboxing on the show of this camping gear. If they have some stuff that you might be interested in for your trip.
Oh,
I might buy some of this. I might buy some of this stuff just because it's BTS. Maybe they'll get me into camping, but I'll have to check it out. But anyway,
yeah, because okay, so what do we have here? I click on the site and I don't know. Are you gonna post pictures on the pod up here? Or?
Yeah, I'll put it on on the Facebook and Instagram. I'll put links to the sites and stuff.
Okay, so yeah,
we'll
listed in the collaboration.
But
you have camping gear, portable furniture
gear, yeah.
like tables and cots, sleeping bags, and it's the all purple, the signature purple color.
Yeah.
And because they are the kings of selling out stuff, of course, it's already sold out. Except for the cot, which has a retail price of $575. It's been out for a day, okay? A day. Camping gear.
Okay, I did not see the sold out part until right now. But except for the cot, which is a retail price of $575. That's oh well. All right, well then never mind. Then well maybe we can buy some of this next items in this next news story if we can't get the camping gear, but hopefully they'll make more. But anyway, there is they have collaborated with BTS or temporary tattoo company. Excuse my tripping on my words. Has Inkbox has collaborated with BTS on temporary tattoos. Now, I've been told by T-Shug that the temporary tattoo business in Korea is about to explode or did explode because of the fact that tattoos in general are kind of frowned upon in Koreans' conservative society. So, and we know our boy JK, he's got a bunch of tattoos. I think it's on his right arm, maybe both, but definitely on his right arm. And they're awesome. Like they look great. I thought they were temporary tattoos too, because I knew that idols weren't supposed to have tattoos. But this is just one of those things. And this reminded me of a YouTube video that I saw that BTS is allowed a lot more freedom than most other idols, probably because they, single-handedly made Big Hit a thing, and now it's one of the biggest companies in the world. As like I said, we get to the story. I keep teasing the story later because I don't want to say it now. But anyway, so up until recently, Jungkook's tattoos had been blurred out, and they had put band-aids on his fingers to hide them, during pictures and stuff. And I don't know how they would do during shows, though. They probably couldn't do it during shows unless they just gave him long sleeves the entire time, which is possible. But they've gotten away with a lot. Like I see them every once in a while lift their shirts and show off their rock hard abs. Apparently, that's kind of like not something that's really like friendly in the conservative society out there, but they do it. So they also drink, on camera, but they're all old enough, Anyway, yeah. What about you, Russell? You got any tattoos?
No, not allowed to.
You're not
Actually,
allowed to.
I'm an adult. I can have whatever I want, but no.
You could.
After seeing other friends with their tattoos, it's like I know myself. I'm gonna get over it real quick. So like
that's fair.
Tattoos are good, but if I were to do a tattoo, it would probably be what other people do, which is they put like the deceased loved ones on somewhere on there, so they're carrying them everywhere.
Well, that's what. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because that's what I'm doing this summer. I got two of my best friends that I lost in my life, and they're going on my arm. So I'm getting a Terminator sword. I mean, a Conan the Barbarian sword and a Terminator skull. Represents
is it
one of
up
each.
the arm, like where?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it up here. Yeah, my right arm.
Because like
so most of the time it'll be covered.
Yeah, because sleeve tattoos are cool and all, but then like you have to cover them if you ever get a job on set.
Yeah. No, it's more meaningful than showing off. Like I just want them like with me. Like I might get addicted because I've always wanted a lightsaber on both of my forearms here, like a red on one side and a green on the other. But anyway, going a little off topic here. But
well, fun fact, real quick, for those who know, like because we work in post-production world, part of the reason why we want to cover actors' tattoos is because you have to clear it with clearance. You have to, because it's artwork, and you have to pay the artist who made it to show it on a TV show or a commercial. So it's not really that, it's taboo. Oh, we don't like the image of a tattoo. It's really like, you have to pay for the rights to show it.
Yeah. I didn't even, that's very true. That's very true. Like my cousin is an actor and he's got to cover his tattoos most of the time. And a lot of times it can be done with makeup. So, I mean, the thing is the darker skin you have, he's somewhat tanned. So he's Mexican. So it's a lot easier to cover up with makeup, but sometimes you can't. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. So what's the last story we got on here, Russell, before we go to break?
Oh, this one totally I identify with. So this one's about
Me too.
John Cena. Okay. So he has reportedly said in his book that he was going through a hard time in his life, and what brought him through that vulnerable moment in his life was the BTS album "Love Yourself," and I'm reading this here quote. It says, so I put all these messages about self-love, and I'm thinking, this is not going to be a good idea because this bigger, larger than life 16-time WWE champion is now talking about vulnerability and the fact that you are enough and you shouldn't be ashamed of who you are. But it caught fire because of the BTS Army. And he explained, these books exist because the army was brave enough. The BTS Army was brave enough to support my vulnerable moment, and now it's become a part of my daily routine. Isn't that
You know
great?
what? Yeah, that's it's funny because I saw an interview recently with I think it was all the guys, but Suga was talking about how, you know, he was going through a rough time during the pandemic, not being able to do, you know, the things everybody wanted to do. He was going through the same funk everybody was, and he started listening to old music of BTS, like, and he was like, he started to understand why their music does help people uplift. And when you hear it coming from him, it doesn't sound like he's bragging or, you know, being like, you know, like he literally enjoys the music that they make, and he sees why people enjoy it too. And I think that's was such a great sentiment, because yeah, I was going through a rough time when I discovered BTS, and they along with my girlfriend are definitely what helped get me through it. You know, she kind of came in at that time when I was at my lowest. BTS and her came right at the same time, so it was like the best timing ever, the best team up. And you know, she actually even said, like, she's not as into BTS as I am, but she does like the Halsey song, and she likes Dynamite, but she's definitely down to go to one of those Rose Bowl shows. But I'm with T-Shug. We're gonna go to every single one, whatever, how many ever they have. We're gonna go every night. But man, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, Russell. I mean, you were mentioning too, you were going through a rough time too at that time as well.
Yeah.
And I think you and I were kind of going through a similar thing. So, you know,
I read this comment somewhere. It's almost in a lot of comment sections. It's like, what was the quote? It was, you didn't find BTS late. You found them when you needed them.
that's sick. That's sick. I like that a lot. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's describes the boys perfectly. They're always going to be there. You know, it's just whenever you discover them, if you do, hopefully you're lucky enough too. You know, and K-pop in general, like, it really is like, it's a force to be reckoned with, and I don't think it's going anywhere. Like, people think it's a passing fad, but it's not, because it's part of it's part of a group of music, or a type of music that has been around since the 60s, and it's never going to go away. It's just going to evolve. Like, that's what these things do. They evolve, and K-pop is the newest evolution of pop music. Like, that's what it is. It's not just Korean pop. It's pop music, and it infuses hip hop and rock and everything, all the elements that have made music what it is today, like, is thrown into K-pop. And yeah, anyway, let's get to a break, because I'm gonna keep rambling on. And when we come back, the big part of the show, you know, that we've been teasing. So we will see you very, very soon. We are back, everybody. Bangtan Gentlemen with Russell and Daniel. And all right, this is the meat of the pod. This is what, like, Kevin Smith calls the right, well, even though he's a vegan now, but the patty that's right in the middle of the bread and the cheese and the meat. I mean, the lettuce. Anyway, so this is a huge story, ramifications across the music world. HYBE, which formerly was known as Big Hit Entertainment and rebranded a few months ago, just purchased 100% of Ithaca Holdings. Now, if people out there don't know what Ithaca is a massive music brand that but carries the artists such as Demi Lovato, Justin Bieber, Psy, Dan and Shay, Ariana Grande, so many artists. I mean, this is the company that was headed by Scooter Braun, who's been unfortunately in the news for negative things, as even though he's done a lot of positive things for some musical artists, other artists don't like his style of management or whatever it is it may be. He's gotten into a big tiff with our girl Taylor Swift, who I love Taylor Swift, and it's not that I don't side with her, but it's one of those things that like I'm not backing Scooter here. I'm backing HYBE and all the other artists that he has on there. They have on there now because Scooter's remaining on the board, but he's not the man anymore. Teresa, what is the name of the CEO of formerly of Big Hit, now HYBE? The jovial gentleman we always see in BTS videos, the older gentleman. What's his name?
Yeah, and I can't say his name properly, so it's.
Can you send it to me in text? I'll give it a shot. But anyway, Russell, are you a fan of any of these artists that I just named? And there's many others like on this, like there's like it also includes a country label as well that has Luke Combs, Luke Bryan, like a bunch of Lukes. And there's a lot of Lukes in country music. But anyway, sorry, Russell, what do you like any of these people that I mentioned?
I mean, I transitioned into a Bieber fan as he grew older. So yeah, and then Ariana Grande, I was a fan of her early work, but as she transitioned to like further, like her songs became less relevant for me. So
gotcha.
For some reason, I don't know why. It's the opposite.
No, I
when
understand.
Bieber grew up, his songs became more relevant, but then when Ariana Grande grew up, it became less relevant. It's just weird for me. I don't know why, but I still love her. And I love Demi Lovato, and Psy. I was okay with Psy. Yeah.
All right. So I'm probably going to butcher the name of the CEO, but I'm going to try it. It's Bang Si-hyuk. I don't know if that's right, my pronunciation, but Bang Si-hyuk. I've been trying to learn Korean lately, and I've been using it through BTS songs. So I'm learning how to read and write it a little bit, but so speaking it is a little different because, they're consonants and vowels are different, like the way they say them, so like even like Jungkook, like I know I'm saying it wrong because they don't pronounce the K as K, it's G, so it's Jungkook, it's Jungkook, like I but the way they do it doesn't sound like the way I'm doing it, but that's how you pronounce the K and the G have the same sound.
That makes sense because kung fu in Chinese, like I always heard it kung fu, like
kung fu, yeah, exactly.
Chinese, I always hear kung fu, but then when I see it spelled, the Americans say kung fu. I'm like, kung fu.
Yeah, that's completely wrong. Well, it's right in the romanization of it, like the way we, or not the romanization, but the way we make it, put our English accent on it, or American accent, I guess would be, not English. American English. Anyway, so this is, like I said, this is a huge deal. Like, like I was mentioning earlier, Jungkook is a massive Justin Bieber fan, and they're all fans of these other artists too. Like they love Ariana Grande. There's a picture of them. I think Ariana posted it. Like, look who I ran into backstage, and it's BTS and they're like all sitting with her. And I don't think Drake's part of this group, but I mean, I know they would love to collaborate with Drake. They seem to love Drake. But I was looking at the roster, the artist roster, and it's insane. Like this is a big company. And HYBE purchasing it, like, I mean, all due respect to the big three in K-pop, they just became small fish compared to what this company can be, because I mean, can you think of can you imagine a Super Bowl halftime show that has Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, and BTS? Like, dude.
Oh, wow.
Dude, that would be like that would eclipse the Super Bowl and the game in general for the first time ever.
I would love to see BTS perform for the Super Bowl. That would be.
It'll happen, dude. Oh, it's going to happen. I guarantee you, it's going to happen. There is no way they're not performing for the Super Bowl one of these days. Like, and I can see it being one of those things. Like, if they do, go off and do their army, their service in the next, soon in the next few months, like as some people have been predicting, and I think it might happen. It makes sense to go in all together and then come out in a couple of years when stadium tours are going to be back in full force. But that's what I bet you their comeback is. Like that would be an amazing comeback from the army, right? Our first big show they need to book this right now. Our first big show is the Super Bowl halftime show of Super Bowl. It would be like 56 or 7 by that point. But oh my God.
They do.
I'm going to that Super Bowl.
like remember like I remember when BTS first came out, I kind of dismissed them because they had the aesthetic of the urban like hip hop group.
Yeah.
Like, and it just I didn't vibe with that aesthetic. But then it wasn't until like the Love Yourself era, it's like the aesthetic changed, and then that's when it was more vibing with me at the time. So maybe by the time
You
Super
know,
Bowl happens, the aesthetic will change a little bit so that more Super Bowl viewers would gravitate toward them. I don't know.
no, it makes sense. It makes sense what you're saying. Like I've always loved, like I like the early stuff a lot because I like their kind of harder hip hop stuff.
Mm.
But not more than their later stuff. It's just one of those things that like I like how they've evolved. Like they're a band like there's like Red Hot Chili Peppers is the only one I can think of top of my head that has evolved as much as BTS has within their genre, obviously. So they've always been hip hop, R&B, pop. Like they've always been a little bit of all three, but certain albums lean more towards this. And so like when Suga goes off on his own, he's full hip hop. Like he has a few songs that that might could be considered BTS songs, but his stuff is hard hip hop. RM is a little bit of both. Like he's a good mixture, and so is JHope. JHope is definitely more poppy and definitely more closest to BTS music of the three rappers that have done solo stuff. But Suga is like he's gangsta. like I'm telling. Maybe you won't like that the Chota video as much as I do, or song as much as I do because it's pretty. Like I played a little bit for you the other day, and you sound like you liked it. But
I watched Chicken Noodle Soup.
Oh, that's different. Yeah,
that's different. That's near my house actually, where they shot that.
Really? Yeah, I love that, dude. The trilingual single, and they just had their newest single is trilingual. People are like, Film Out is doing obviously really well. The new Japanese song, it's mostly in Japanese, but there's some parts in Korean and some parts in English, so it's a trilingual song. And and they have a few of those. It's not like this is the first one, but it's making a big deal because obviously right now BTS is the biggest band in the world. So hey, Teresa, do you know, have any of their Japanese songs been high on the Billboard charts, like the Hot 100?
From what I remember, no. And Film Out is like would be the first Japanese song even to be on the charts.
All right, there they go.
Tuesday, we're waiting for Tuesday to figure that out.
There they go. Then they're about to. It's probably going to be there. I mean, that means they're going to make history again. Like it's just they just keep knocking down walls, keep breaking records, and I know a lot of people like kind of resent sometimes when people say like the BTS. What's the word I'm looking for? They take away from like what Blackpink is doing and what they think that people praising BTS, they're taking away from what Blackpink and Super M and Shiny and all these other groups have done, and I don't see it that way, and I don't think the bands see it that way. If one band's successful, yeah, there's a certain amount of competition, but
yeah,
they want the genre to succeed. Like Kevin Feige said it best when he was talking about Marvel and DC, when they asked if he enjoyed the fact that DC was struggling a little bit, when BVS came out, and he said, no, I want them to succeed because if they succeed, our genre succeeds, and our movies we keep making these movies. Yep. And that's it's an ecosystem, K-pop, and what's good for one group is good for the other. So BTS, no, they didn't make Blackpink, but they made Blackpink accessible to others. And then people are like, oh, I like BTS. And then YouTube suggests, well, you might like this group. And it shows Blackpink. Then you've been introduced to Blackpink. It's that way. So, and that's not a negative thing. That's like, a hit show leading into a new show that needs ratings.
Yes.
So, and that's what happens. But then that new show, like Friends piggybacked onto Seinfeld, but then became a ratings juggernaut on its own. And that's what Blackpink is doing. And it's not like they piggybacked on BTS, but they they rode in on the same carpet as them, and then they took off on their own, and now I think Rosé's song is doing fantastic. Both of them actually. She has 2 new songs, and they're both wonderful. Like she's awesome. Rosé is awesome. But anyway, I'm talking too much. Russell. So we're gonna obviously decided we're gonna be at that Super Bowl. You know, when they make that performance. T-Shug, I assume you're gonna be with us. Oh, she went silent on me.
Sorry, of course, that's a given. That should just be. I shouldn't even have to comment.
It is a given. But here's the cool thing. By that time, hopefully our show's big enough that we're going to get press passes. So we're going to be press at all the when the Rose Bowl shows and the Super Bowl. But I'm just so like, just to kind of wrap this segment up, and I'll let you, Russell, if you have any final thoughts, I'll let you take a turn. But I'm so excited just at the idea that there might be a collaboration with BTS and other members, because I'm sure more K-pop groups are going to grow from this venture as well. You know, I know Big Hit has, or HYBE, sorry, formerly Big Hit has a few other groups. I just haven't gotten into them as much. What are the other groups they have, Teresa?
And hyphen.
Yeah.
TXT. 17 through their subsidiary.
Oh, I love 17.
Oh, okay, cool.
And G Friend.
All right. Well, I've heard a little bit of TXT, but I need to listen to 17 because obviously Russell likes them. So, so basically, what I'm saying is I'm just excited to have some of these K-pop groups, you know, cross over with these American acts, and I would love to see a BTS Psy collaboration. I can't believe that hasn't happened yet, to be honest with you, as big of fans as they are of him. So, and I didn't know Psy was still going, to be honest with you. Like, so I want to see what he's been doing, because he did have a second single right after Gangnam Style that didn't do as well, obviously, but I liked it. I was like, this is good. Like, this made me think this guy's more than just a gimmick. So that, you know, no, Leroy, no. Anyway, Russell, do you have any final thoughts on the HYBE Ithaca merger?
No, it's just it's very exciting for me as a casual music listener, and yeah, I just like the idea of them blending with the West.
Yeah,
East and West.
I 100% agree, man. Like, some of the best stuff comes out East-West collaboration. So anyway, I'm not talking about the Great Wall either. So that movie was, although to be fair, the Chinese wanted to cast Matt Damon and they cast him in a white role. He wasn't playing an Asian role. Nor was he the white savior. That movie was weird. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm going off on a weird tangent. All right, we're gonna go to break. When we come back, we're gonna do a little quick unboxing of one of the albums, and then we're gonna be out. So see you in a sec, guys. Welcome back, everybody, to Bangtan Gentlemen with Russell and Daniel. The last segment is about the music. It's about the most important part of BTS, with all the other things aside, like all that great stuff that we talk about. The music is where it started. The music is where it's going to keep living on. So I wanted to use this time because our wonderful producer, Teresa, she gave our other wonderful producer, Angela, a bunch of BTS albums, the actual physical albums, the CDs, and it's kind of coming into focus here. You know, and I'm going to turn this off real quick. I'm going to turn off the virtual background, folks, just for a second. I know we like looking at the boys, but so I can unbox this a little bit more clear. So anyway, and yes, that is a Deadpool head behind me, and it does talk, but we have him turned off because he'll take over the show. So thank you, Teresa, because I have at least 5 or 6 albums for you as well, Russell, of these, and these are the actual physical CDs that are out there. And BTS, you know, these aren't quite pricey, but BTS, what they do is they give you more for buying the physical albums, you know, because people now do all digital, mostly digital, and you know, selling albums outside of selling vinyl, which doesn't get you huge sales, is kind of rare. You know, it's so BTS sells a lot with these, and they make a lot. Like, so I mean, first of all, there's the CD. Right,
it's on the lid.
It's on the lid. Yeah, it's on the inside of the lid.
Okay.
And then
That's
when you
cool.
pull it out, here's a booklet, and this is the special edition, and they spelled edition ADD instead of ED for a
Special
reason.
edition.
Yeah, clever. So I mean, a lot of this is pictures of the boys in concert, which is pretty cool. And this is early stuff, you know, because this is from the School Love Affair era, which is the second mini album. It was 2015, 14, somewhere around there. What does it say it on here?
It definitely will say it on there.
It says the date on here somewhere. Yeah, I'm looking for it. Copyright 2014. Yeah, so this came out in 2014, and it wasn't a massive hit right away. It became a hit later because they struggled in the beginning. You know, they went through some growing pains. I was watching their show they did a show at the Troubadour here in Los Angeles for free for 200 fans, and they had to actually go on the street and get some people, because I mean they had some fans already, but not very many. And they had to bring people in from the street to come see the show, and they were going around and telling people I'm a Korean pop singer and I have a show. Man, wow! I wish I would have been there. I could have seen them for free, and they were badass on. Like, there was a great show. Like look, you can find video of it on YouTube. Anyway, so, and then here's. Wait a minute, hold on. I don't know which. Okay, there's a CD in here. And then there's also one in here that says disc 1, and it's the BTS mini album showcase. And then this is like a making of. I assume it's. Oh, these are DVDs. Oh, cool. That makes me very excited. So these two discs are DVDs. So I doubt if they're in English, but still, I don't mind. I'm gonna definitely watch the hell out of these things. So anyway, so Russell, yeah, I got one of these for you. When I see you next. And are you serious, Leroy? Get down. No more chewing on wires. All right. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so Russell, have you purchased? I mean, there's one thing, unfortunately. Oh, wait. Actually, there's something else in here that I forgot to show you. I remember opening these, and there was something inside the book loose. Maybe it wasn't this one. Maybe it was the other ones. Oh, no, never mind. There's nothing in this one. Like, there's some that come with posters. Some of the CDs, you know, so they definitely give you a lot of bang for your buck. They also come with photo cards, which is why Teresa has so many copies of the same CDs. So I unfortunately did not get the photo cards, but I also understand why. But, you know, I was looking on eBay, and you could buy, I mean, there might be some rare ones that are probably more expensive, but you can buy a lot of them on eBay. I saw a set of like 250 for like $70, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I can, like, if I really wanted to collect them, I could go online and just buy them. Like, here's the thing. I could do that, but what I liked about collecting cards is I liked opening the packs, you know, so it's something about that. So I'm not saying I'm going to buy a bunch of these CDs over again just to get the photo cards, but I am down to buy other, because they do have, like, you got the earbuds. So other products that they sell do come with the photo cards. Russ, you don't have those photo cards handy, do you, at the moment?
Oh, that's right. Here. In this box.
So we did the unboxing on the first episode, which you haven't watched yet. Please go watch.
And
please go now to
like,
watch.
that's the cool thing. It's like, oh, it's hidden, like, in the
yeah.
back. And yeah, photo cards. Oh my gosh, why are they stuck? Why?
Oh, don't hurt them. Don't bend them.
Oh, because the tab is caught. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
Do they fit? Do they fit in, like, you know, like the baseball card sleeves? Is that the size? Are they different size than trading cards?
I can grab my Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
We compare the size.
I believe they can fit. Yes.
They do fit.
They do fit. Okay, so
binders worth now. I should show you them when we get.
I know, and I'd love to display those on the show one of these days, T-Shug, because, like, I know you told me not to dive into that hole, but I really want these cards.
I know. I wish I could make Yu-Gi-Oh cards out of them. I'm like, I summon Tae. V. And
or Tae. Yeah, it's Tae, of course. That's his name. Taeyong.
And then they battle each other. No, I was kidding. No,
that's what I'm saying. I was saying. I think I said this. I don't know if I said this. I think I said this off pod. They should have a BTS Pokemon Go collab or K-pop, so they just turn a bunch of K-pop.
Fortnite. Yeah,
people.
like BTS.
Well, they have it in Fortnite. Aren't they in Fortnite?
Oh, are they?
The song is my girlfriend's. I was listening to Dynamite in the car. My girlfriend's youngest son goes, "They're on Fortnite." You know, I did it in a British accent. He's not British. He has a lisp though.
Uh-huh.
But I was trying to do the lisp and I couldn't do it right. Fortnite.
What if they were playable
Keeps coming out British.
On-
That's what, dude. I would play Fortnite because I hate that game. I hate that game.
And then you could change their avatars and the clothes and the accessories virtually. Like,
Oh man, that would be awesome. Anyway, all right. So the other thing I wanted to mention before we get out of here is there, like I said, this show, and we'll dedicate actual full segments to other K-pop bands too, you know, in the near future. Right now we're focusing on BTS because we're early in the show, obviously. But and as I get more into, excuse me, as we get more into the K-pop world, we will start discussing those bands more. But right now I wanted to give a shout out to two bands that I've been listening to a lot lately, or one's a band and one's a solo artist. One is SHINee, and they're legendary K-pop band. Actually, they were around before BTS, or at least right before, I think. Am I right? Am I right, Teresa? They started maybe 2 or 3 years before they debuted.
Yeah. What?
Did SHINee? Didn't they debut about 2 years before BTS, or maybe 3? Like 2011, 12, somewhere around there.
I think it was like, I think they're 12 years old.
Oh, they've been around for 12 years already. So
Yeah.
2010, almost 2009, actually. Okay. All right. So yeah, so SHINee, fantastic band. Check them out. And the other, and I'll talk more about their songs on another cast. But the other one is Kong Daniel. And I like his second name, obviously. And his first name, Kong, is pretty awesome. Spelled Kang, but pronounced Kong. He is a solo artist, and he's fantastic. His dancers are awesome. Like he's not part of a group because he's the only singer, but his dance troupe or dance group is very, very good too. But you guys check him out. Anyway, Russell, is there any other K-pop bands you're listening to right now? You mentioned 17 earlier.
Oh yeah, 17. I do like 17. It's because I was at a Korean barbecue restaurant, and you know how they have the TVs playing.
Yeah.
They just cycle through so many K-pop songs. One stood out to me, which was by 17. It's called "Don't Wanna Cry."
Okay.
The title doesn't seem appealing, but then when you hear the song, it's like very.
I want to hear it.
It's very
All right,
popular.
I'm gonna add it right now. I'm gonna go as soon as we're done here. I'm gonna go to Spotify and add it.
Yeah, it's called
All right.
"Don't Wanna Cry."
Don't want to
by
cry.
17. And then another group I like is EXO. They have a song called "Bird." It's so good. Just the animal.
Check them out. Okay, EXO. All right.
And most recently, the last one, Monsta X. Yeah, I've heard of them. My coworker from AJ and the Queen went to see them in concert like the year before quarantine, and there's a song called "Someone's Someone."
Okay.
That stood out to me.
All right. Monsters X, 17, and what was the middle one?
EXO.
EXO. EXO. All right. I think I've heard of that. I think I've heard of both of those last two, but I don't think I've actually heard their music yet. But anyway, so that's going to do it for us today on Bangtan Gentlemen, and we will obviously see you next time. I am Daniel Villalobos, with me as always.
Russell Fong.
And of course, T-Shug behind the glass. Say goodbye, T-Shug.
Bye.
There it is. All right. We will see you next time on the K-pop side. Bye-bye.